of the decisions that I've made or transitions that I decided to make in terms of improving myself were never linked to New Year's, if that makes sense.
Yes, I agree. I feel the same
linked.
way. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, hey, this New Year's thingy, it's kind of like, that's where I have the serious problem about it. The actual New Year's, that it has to be on the New Year. Like, for the most part, like even certain things I've always thought about, maybe like in my head, like this is something that I want to achieve, or it's a personal goal that I'm working towards, but I don't really speak about it. It's just like in my head, like, oh, I would really love to, you know, make sure that I have this done. But there's not really a time frame, you know? It's like, as long as I get it done, it would be nice, you know? And also just thinking about goals, like most of the things that I would sometimes think about is just short-term goals, like, okay, I would like to be, let's say I want to study, you know, by the end of December, I would love to, you know, be admitted at these particular schools, and I have a decision to make. But it's never, because especially in my experience, I've seen on social media, people having resolutions about, you know, their characters. And I think that to me for me, I feel like is the most surprising thing in terms of, you know, how when we do things habitually, like they become such a norm. So for you to think that on one day you're going to wake up and stop doing XYZ, it's kind of difficult, you know, whereas you could start today and slowly build up, because it doesn't mean that once you hit the new year, those toxic traits that you might have, or this bad behavior that you want to let go of, is gonna immediately fall off. It's going to be a gradual process where you do good, you do bad, you do good, you do bad. So to think that your character can just be shaped or changed in an instant, like, or even just any habits, like if you spend a lot of money, if you someone that drinks a lot, if you mean to people, like, you know, there's just certain habits that we or like toxic traits or traits that we might not love about ourselves, that you can't just, oh, New Year's resolution, new me, like those type of new me movements. Like, I don't know, like if that's really realistic, to be honest.
Yeah, especially that part that you brought up about the new year,
New
new
me.
me. Like, do you really think it's as simple as you can go and just like buy? It's almost, in my mind, I just see it as a person going and like just buying a new version of themselves and being like, this is
Easily
me now,
putting it in the cart.
Like, no, it's not like that. If anything, we are a work in progress. I mean, yes, making the decision is something that you have
First
to do
step.
on a certain day and be like, cool, and then stick to it from then. But does it have to be the day
of
after
the new
you are
year?
partying up a storm?
Yes.
And you are like, okay, cool, no, because I know that come January I'm going to be a new person, so now I can do all the crap and all the other stuff, and then I will change. But will you
know,
then? Is it sustainable?
To play devil's advocate, or to try and be on the other side, I do think that, you know, there are certain things that, depending on the time of when you want to declare this, it kind of does make sense to be like, okay, next year I plan to buy a house, because obviously your finances at this particular moment cannot afford you a house. But when you look at your finances next year, you maybe think, okay, I'm going to stop doing X, Y, Z, 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 and then I'll be able to afford the house next year. I think there are maybe certain bigger goals that you can set for yourself, especially if maybe you're saving. For example, if you're saving for a trip, like let's say, for example, I want to go to France in December. It could be a good plan to say, okay, next year my New Year's resolution is to travel to France. Like, I really want to see the Eiffel Tower and just be in Paris. But it means that throughout this year and even next year, I need to be doing what I need to do to make sure that happens. I can't just say, okay, then next year comes, I haven't done, you know, held my end of the bargain to try and make sure that I attain that or make that possible. So I think it is possible to kind of save certain things for next year, but I feel like it also comes with working on them today and now, and knowing that, okay, the result is only going to happen at this particular time.
Yeah. Perhaps maybe then it is more result oriented in terms of when your result, or the ideal time that you would like for your result to pan out. Because with bigger things like that, it's true, you can kind of set up a time frame in that manner so that you're able to achieve these things. But as far as the smaller things, as far as like, you know, character traits, lifestyle changes, those are things that
you need to work on.
You have to build up to that.
Day.
You can't just bloop, tomorrow I'm this. No.
And if you're already recognizing that there's a toxic relationship that you're not happy about, there are certain groups of people that you don't feel like, you know, your goals are aligned, or there's anything that you're getting from them, or a job that you're unhappy about, or like anything that you feel like could possibly be detrimental towards you, that then should be something that you're trying to fix now and not wait for, you know, 6 months or, you know, a few months, because what are the odds that you're really going to do something on that day if you're not working on it now?
Actually, that's a very good point. What are the odds that you are going to actually like work on it if you're not working on it now? That's a very good point. Because if you're not, I mean, how are you going to end up there? My mom always says this thing every time to me, right? That she says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
I know that one very
well. And it's like, well,
if you fail to
you're
plan,
not going to set things in process.
You plan to fail. I feel like that's every black mom. When you're not doing things right, when you're just all over, your life is not making any sense, they will come for you with that. Like, your life is not in order.
Yeah, but it's a thing where, especially when we are like younger, whether like, you know, you're a student or like you're just starting the whole adulting thing, working for yourself, it takes time. You won't figure these things out right off the bat, you know. These are the sort of things that we do have to kind of give ourselves time. As long as we made the decision and then we commit to it, then at least we can see the thing through to the end.
How do you feel about people? How do you feel about people that plan to leave other people in the previous year? Those new year, new me, I'm messing with who and who, I'm doing whatever. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, you know, those type of resolutions where people just cutting people off. It's new year, you were talking to them today. Like, some people literally sit down and make these type of decisions that, like, you know what, I'm never gonna talk to them again, blah blah blah, this is the new year, like, I don't want anything to do with Jerry. And then come new year, I'm not texting you, I'm not talking to you, like, I completely cut you off. Like, how do you feel about those? Like, okay, new year, new me, everything, I'm leaving these people behind me. Your face.
I mean, to each their own. Me personally, in my opinion, I think that's whack.
Yeah, that's dirty.
Word to say
that's
out
a that's
but
a characteristic, a character trait that you should also leave there.
Because to me, my thing is that if you are consciously saying that, okay, cool, there's a certain type of person that I no longer want to be around, they no longer serve me, or like, you know, that's not the situation that I want to be part of anymore. Okay, cool, next year I'm going to avoid those kind of things. Yes, if you're going to sit and evaluate your relationships and say, okay, this is where this is not working for me anymore, I think it would benefit to at least to, like, you know, let them know, especially if you've had a very, very, very long-term
friendship or whatever,
with this person. Yeah, friendship with this person. And then suddenly, jiggy next year,
right,
you're no longer speaking to them.
Right.
And that's just that. And then they feel ghosted. This thing of ghosting.
Yeah. I mean, we've all ghosted people in our lives. And it's not something we're proud of, but, you know, it's something that we've all done. But yeah.
We've all done that, and that's true. But I think that whole thing of, okay, next year I'm gonna cut all these people off, at least I think in some ways they will obviously then, especially if all those people know you and they're like, did you see so and so just cut me off? There was a situation where this happened, literally, and I'm speaking from experience. There was a time when this happened, and I'm not sure if it was a New Year's resolution type of thing, but one day this person just decided,
I'm done.
Cut off everyone. Everyone was like, is this person okay? We try to get hold of them.
You worried.
Not going through. They thought someone was like the person, there was an issue.
Yeah.
That maybe there was something genuinely wrong. Only to find person just decided that I'm moving on this year. I don't care anymore. And then you realize, oh, so actually we didn't have the kind of friendship
that I
or
thought
relationship
we had, that if there was an issue, you would
And
be
then
able
it's
to
gone.
discuss
And
it
in
with
that
me.
way, yes, and in that way, I think to myself, well, even if you are doing it for your own peace,
Exactly, I
don't you
was
also
going to
want
get to that
extend
point
that
as well.
peace?
That, you know, team,
You know?
I just want peace. I want to keep my peace. I want to, you know, make sure that I have a good mental health. I don't want people distracting me, so I don't have to explain anything. But I do think that if these particular people, this particular person is a reason why your peace is being disturbed, or is a reason why you are having, you know, mental health issues, or whatever the case may be, do you think then that not having a conversation with them and making them aware of their actions could possibly help? You know, because we are not perfect human beings. Some people have character traits that are very problematic, but whichever space that they've been in, it's never been addressed, or they don't know. So sometimes you need to sit someone down and be like, bruh, in this friendship, I don't like that maybe I'm being used, or you only need me, you only call me when you need me, or I don't like that I have to do this, and whatever the problem is, or I don't like that you don't really care about my feelings. And then if the person then continues after that, I understand to then be like, I'm out of this case, like I'm done. But to never sit down and have a conversation with someone that you consider your friend about something that they do to you that's problematic, and then wake up one day and be like, ciao, I think that also creates anxiety and issues to the person that you're doing this to, even though you are in the process trying to keep your peace and, you know, maintain a peaceful space. By not having that conversation, it also creates, you know, another problem for them, that, you know, you wake up and you're like, what the hell happened?
Exactly. That communication aspect is very important. If you decide that you want to move different and you no longer want to speak to the person, that's fine.
By all means.
If you decide that you want to do that, but there's a way in which you go about it to at least make sure that on all fronts, whenever you see the person next, it's not a thing of, like you did this to me, and like I cut you off because, you know, and then it becomes he say, she say things. No.
Yeah, and that's when the problem comes.
Because in a way, it's almost a different form of the first thing that comes to my mind is bullying, but I think maybe it's minor. Because in that way, obviously, a lot of us are on social media, right? And because a lot of us are on social media, you will see when, for example, maybe you sent this person a message and they are not responding, but you see how they're commenting,
posting stories,
they're liking,
they're meeting up for lunch with the other one.
You. It's an isolation thing, and when you're doing that, that is a form of bullying. The difference is that it's online. Because had it been at school, if you were at school and suddenly this person is just ignoring you and acting like you don't exist, but they're talking to everybody else, how does that make the other person feel?
Yeah.
You know, it's not okay. At least you can go and just be straight and be like, okay, cool. I just feel like, you know, you and I and our friendship, as you were saying, you know, you go, you speak to them and you say, these are the aspects that are not working for me anymore. I don't have any malice towards you.
But I just don't think that I want to continue.
It's just that this is what it is. But maybe some people are doing it just to be like,
yeah, there's also some sort of like sauciness involved in these people who have resolutions of leaving, cutting off people and leaving other people, you know, in the previous year or in the previous month, whatever they decide. I think like, yeah, it has an element of just, it's not healthy. But I don't want people to misunderstand us and think that we are saying that people should keep and harbor problematic people in their lives. But I'm just saying that there's a way and there's a process in which you let go of someone, especially if this person was close to you. If they don't know that their actions are troubling you, and sometimes, you know, especially in this area, we work in the system of kind of assuming that everybody knows everything. You know, everybody knows that XYZ is problematic. Everybody knows that they, you know, like there are things that we are still unlearning. There are things that I am learning. There are things that I'm also unlearning in this process. And it's going to continue for as long as I live. So just because you have managed to progress to a particular point in your life and you see things differently, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't allow people the time or the chance to also get to that point. So as to say, we're not saying keep people and, you know, maintain relationships that are sick, but just go about it the right way. That's out there for everyone to not quote us and say things that are unrelated to what we're saying or misunderstand this.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's more so just about being, being open to communicate your concerns with your friend or with whoever it is that you are cutting things off with. As you said, especially if it's someone that you've known for years. I mean, at least you owe them that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
If you cared enough.
Yeah. Talk it out and see what happens.
Don't be harboring problematic people. Please. No, do
Let
maintain
them
your
go.
peace.
If you have
But
said
do
your
it in
piece,
such a way where that peace extends
Yeah.
everywhere.
if you've said what you wanted to say and the person is still doing a mad thing, then yeah, that's not on you. But so what do you think, like, Jerry, moving forward, just to like wrap this up, like moving forward, like, yeah, like our New Year's resolutions realistic in your opinion? Like, I think that they're not, but I think for certain things, if you're working on it on a gradual, it's a gradual process, then you can say, then okay, by next year I'm gonna have my money right, so then next year I'm doing this is my resolution. But I think there are just particular things that I think should be every day. You should work on it every day.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think as far as New Year's resolutions go, if it's a tangible thing, something that is tangible, like, buying a car, buying a house, these kind of tangible tasks or like, situations, those ones I think it definitely then does make sense because you're going to have to work towards it regardless. As far as something that is more internal and you needing to like work on yourself or improve certain aspects, I don't think that it's realistic to think that come Jan, you're just suddenly going to be a new person. It doesn't work like that. You have to work towards it actively each day so that by the time you get there, you're like, okay, I'm turning it into a lifestyle. Because those are lifestyle things.
Exactly.
So
your New Year's resolution basically is to try and be a consistent person throughout. Don't try and save things for particular moments and particular time. Like, do it gradually. Start today, start tomorrow, but just try and do it as often as you can.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. That is the plan.
That is the plan. And for myself as well, there are probably a lot of things that are in my head that I haven't done this year that I've touched and go. But the plan is to still continue with them. I didn't work hard for probably like 3 weeks. But this week I kind of got back into it, and I was really surprised in terms of how I managed to get the strength to actually do it. And a part of me in my head, I was like, you know what, like, how about I do this next year? How about I just drop and do it next year? I plan to move and get a new job. Maybe I might find a gym. Like, let's just make the whole package for next year. And I was like, bruh, if you're not exercising every day, this needs to be a normal thing, a habit. So especially imagine taking over 2 months off and then all of a Sunday, now where am I going to get the strength and energy to do it then? But if I'm still continuing right through the new year, maybe I can increase from 3 days to 5 days, that type of thing. But yeah, like, yeah, right. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope that you guys also enjoyed listening to this discussion. And yeah, if you guys have any points, comments, please have a discussion with us on the comment section, and please follow us on BabesI'veBeenThere. And yeah, we're kind of active on Instagram, but yeah, like, that is the platform that we like on a daily basis, like, post stuff. So you can also DM and we can have a conversation about a lot of things, and more videos are to come this year. I'm really excited. Jerry and I have a lot planned out for this year, and we love that we can finally have a dialogue together and discuss things, as we said in the beginning. So yeah, I think this brings us to the end.
Yes, it does. I guess that's it from us then.
Okay, bye guys.
So yeah, guys, have a good one.
Good night.
Bye.